Hey guys, I'm Eclipse, and welcome to the last video of my little introductory part of the metagame analysis series. Today we're going to be talking about supports, and supports are generally heroes who throughout the game are basically there to benefit their cores as much as possible. Now, it's not always that cut and dry, but that's pretty much what it means in the early game. Supports are gonna run pulls, supports are gonna zone offlaners, supports are gonna gank mids, etc. etc. They're basically doing their best to help their team to do as well as they possibly can. And they really kind of depend on their ganks working as well, because I mean, you can get XP from pulls, but it's really hard to get sufficient XP on two supports just from pulling. So, their only real method of benefiting themselves, in the early game at least, is to benefit their other cores. Uh, like I said, zone offlaners, pull, gank, that kind of thing. So, an important thing to note about supports is obviously, they end up getting the lowest GPM and XPM stats in the game. Now, when you look at these stats, the thing that is kind of sometimes hard to remember, I think, is that all these heroes start off the same. They all start off level 1 with 625 gold. So, this is kind of where supports are the strongest in a sense. Because supports don't really get farm, so they're always kind of falling off. Their power spikes are all kind of in the early game for the most part, unless you have something like a Witch Doctor Ags. But basically, everyone starts off at level 1, and pretty much the second you start the game, your supports start to fall behind all the other heroes, right? So basically, the earlier you are in the game, generally, the more effective your supports are going to be. Because a lot of supports have good level 1 spells, you think about it, Crystal Maiden, Frostbite, 150 damage, 1.5 seconds stun. That's one of, if not the best, level 1 skills in the game. Marana does a 5-second stun at level 1 if you can hit it. Bane, Nightmare is a really good setup spell. It lasts 4 seconds at level 1 too. So, etc., etc., right? Uh, no, it's true. I mean, not all supports. I guess I've kind of given the misconception for the most part that a support's power spike just caps at the second you spawn into the game, just goes down, 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 down. That's not entirely true. Supports generally start to fall off once you get to. Well, it depends on the support, but their damage usually starts to fall off once you get into the sort of middle of the mid game. But when you're talking about heroes like Skywrath, Lena, Lion, Witch Doctor with Ags, these heroes, their damage never really falls off. I guess it kinda does, but I mean, they're always doing damage. But supports are usually not there to provide damage. That's what the carries do. That's what the mids do. The supports are usually there to give their cores an early start, or a good start, and to really provide control more than anything else. Think about Lion. Lion does almost 7 seconds of stun. Uh, Bane's got grip and nightmare. Witch has slow, CM has slow and a stun, Lina has 2.5 seconds stun, etc., etc. So most supports, not all, like for example, if you're running a support Zeus doesn't give you any control, but supports often give you the control because that's to come from somewhere, and it's usually not going to come from carry heroes. It can come from mids and offlaners, though. Think about like RP or Beastmaster or what have you. So, yeah. Supports generally are heroes with good ganking spells as well. There are a few exceptions to this rule, but I think right now those set exceptions are probably crappy supports. But for example, say Lion. Lion can run up, impale you, and then hex you, and you're probably dead if he's not alone. And he can finger you too once it's level 6. Skywrath can slow you and silence you as well as increasing your magic damage, or reducing your magic resistance, I should say. Throwing a few arcane bolts at you, dropping a mystic flare on you. Again, it's good early game damage. So, well, supports generally don't become that much stronger with farm. For about as strong as they're gonna get would be like if you're running a support Warlock or a support Zeus and you get Ag's Refresher. That's about as far as it's gonna go. And you usually, again, you don't want to jeopardize your core position for that. Warlock's kind of a bad example of that because Warlock's not a bad core, but a better example would be like Witch Doctor. You don't want to sacrifice your mid position so you can put a Witch Doctor and get an early Ag Scepter. That's not really that good because once you get that Ag Scepter, what does it really do afterwards? I mean, this hero's just going to fall off and farm, and you're going to fall behind. So, supports usually don't need that farm, and that much farm, and supports, as a result, usually don't have the ability to farm quickly. Like, it really depends on the support, but like if I was running Dazzle, he can run into a camp, shallow grave himself, or shallow grave himself. I should hope not. Shadow wave himself over and over and over again. Right click, and you'll eventually get the camp, but it's pretty damn slow. The exception to this rule would be your junglers, Enigma, Chen, and Enchantress. Now, Chen's pretty popular right now, Enigma's pretty popular right now, Enchantress is not. Yeah. These heroes are pretty much the three heroes who you're able to jungle with for two reasons. One, with these two especially, you can really still help out your lanes because your creeps give you kind of extra ganking power, right? You have Centaur Stomp, you have Satyr Hadouken, you have Hellbear Thunderclap, right? And the other thing is, they're generally like most junglers, for example, Nature's Prophet, right? If I put a Nature's Prophet in the jungle, I guarantee you he'll farm faster if I put him in a free farm lane. Enigma? Maybe not. Enigma farms extremely fast in the jungle. So usually these guys are really efficient farmers in the jungle. Again, Chen and Enchantress don't have to be played that way, but they certainly can be. If you get like stacks in the tornado creep, it can totally work. So, yeah. Supports are generally just kind of the heroes who don't fit in anywhere on the map and therefore have to kind of make space for the rest of the team in the early game. And then they're going to probably continue helping make space into the mid game. The late game, they're probably just going to throw out their spells. They're probably going to be providing a bit of control, a bit of damage. Not much more. Usually not that important in the late game. Of course, it depends on their farm as well. Sometimes you see like teams such as Cloud9, especially, who always seem to have a ridiculous amount of farm on their supports. And if you have that, then they're great in the late game. Being greedy with supports isn't a terrible idea a lot of the time, but it also can kind of backfire. It really depends, right? I mean, if I give my disruptor tons of space to get an Ags and then he doesn't do anything with his Ags, what was the point, really? So, yeah, that's kind of what I have to say about supports for the most part. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Uh, like, subscribe, and tomorrow I am going to finally be able to start on the heroes. So we're just gonna go down this way. So tomorrow you'll hear all about my thoughts on Abaddon. Alright, so I'll see you guys then. Bye bye.